Hello, good morning, and good night, and welcome to DJ Crowns Plays. I'm DJ Crowns, and we're back with another redstone tutorial for you all. Today, we are going to be covering two flush 1x2s using slime blocks this time. Although for 1x2s, honestly, these aren't really worth it. But they are still cool to learn how to build, especially if you've never really used slime with pistons. But anyway, let's get to showing off the doors. So first, we have a 1x2 flush with what's called a double piston extender underneath, right here, that pulls our our door blocks and slime blocks down into the floor 2 spaces, just like that. And the reason it's called a double piston extender is, well, it's right in the name. It extends 2 pistons with a block or even blocks on its face, just like that, and will also retract them. Or in other words, it will push a block 2 spaces out and pull it back 2 spaces as well. And the way they work is, with some specific timings on the 2 sticky pistons, first the top piece of redstone gets powered, soft powering the block next to it, but there isn't a block next to that until the lower piston fires after 3 ticks of delay, as you can see on the repeater below, which powers our bottom piston, pushing our top piston up 1 block, and as soon as it comes in contact with the soft powered block, it powers, giving us our full extension. But extension is the easy part. The hard part is making it retract. So what has to happen with the double piston extenders to make them push and retract their blocks back is, on retraction, the top piece of redstone has to unpower first, so that our top piston retracts the block down 1 block. Then as soon as our top piston is unpowered, the repeater below turns off, turning our piston next to it off, retracting the other piston down 1 block. But then as the repeater turns off, the observer sends a pulse into the block above it, pulsing our piston 1 more time, grabbing the block and retracting it all the way back down, as you can see here, just like that. Also, I just want to give a shout out to Jaden Thomas's YouTube channel, as I think he created this double piston extender, but even if not, his channel is the only place I've seen a vertical double piston extender this small on Bedrock Edition. Like, this thing is amazing. Anyway, so with that out of the way, hopefully now you understand what a double piston extender is. And now let's show the second door. I don't even know if we activated this one, but I'll activate that once more. There you go. Beautiful. So next, we have a 1x2 flush, also using slime blocks, but with our double piston extender above this time. And actually another piston behind. But this double piston extender is a little bit different, as you can see. Also, I just want to give another shout out to the Bowtie Man's YouTube channel, because I'm pretty sure this is his design. But anyways, these are the smallest vertical double piston extenders I've seen on Bedrock. So this door, when you click the button, the pistons pull our blocks back and up into the ceiling, as you can see. So first, we're going to start with the 1x2 flush with our double piston extender underneath. For this build, you will need 44 solid blocks of any type, like smooth stone or cobblestone, 10 immovable objects or non-stick blocks like obsidian and glazed terracotta, 2 door blocks of any type, although if you want your door to be hidden, your door block should be the same as your wall, 9 redstone dusts, 3 repeaters, 2 comparators, 2 sticky pistons, 2 slime blocks, 2 wooden buttons, 1 redstone torch, and 1 observer. So as you can see, the build takes up a 7 by 6 by 9 area, and your floor sits 5 blocks off the ground in line with the 6th block or the diamond block here. All the redstone fits inside the quartz block areas, and the iron blocks represent the rest of the build area. The gold and netherite blocks are laid out so you can easily follow along and get the proper spacing for the build. And as I said before, the diamond block represents your floor level. So with that out of the way, let's begin. So first, we are going to come to the bottom left corner of our 7 by 6 area. So right here. Count 3 spaces to the right. 1, 2, 3. 3 spaces forward. 1, 2, 3. And place a block. We then are going to place a temporary block on both the left and right side of the block we just placed. So 1, 2. A block on top of both temporary blocks. 1, 2. And remove the temporary blocks. Next, we're going to come over to the block on the right of the blocks we just placed and place 2 sticky pistons on the top of each other facing upwards. So right here, take your sticky pistons, 1, 2, just like that, facing straight up. We then are going to come back down to the block on the left of our blocks we placed. Stand right here and place a repeater between the block we're standing on, pointing into the block with the pistons on it. And make sure to set your repeater to 3 ticks delay by tapping left trigger or right clicking it twice, as you can see right there. Next, place a temporary block on top of the block we were just standing on, and then from there crouch on that temporary block and place an observer with the face looking down at the repeater below. Just like that. But be careful not to mess up the 3 tick delay on the repeater. Make sure you didn't mess it up when you placed that. From here, we're going to place 2 blocks coming out to the left from our top sticky piston, 1 on top of the observer and 1 on top of our temporary block. 1, 2. And then remove the temporary block. Just like that. Next, we're going to take our redstone dust and place it on the block behind our repeater, and then another redstone on the block above it. 1, 2. We then are going to come to the block beside our top piston and place 4 obsidian going up in a straight line, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. A temporary block on top, 1 obsidian to the right, another temporary block to the right of that, and 4 more obsidian coming back down. And remove the 2 temporary blocks at the top. Next, we're going to come back down to the front of the build and place 2 slime blocks on top of the sticky piston face. 1, 2. And then your 2 door blocks in front of those. Just like that. And that's the double piston extender now finished. All we have to do now is add our input and cover it up. So now we are going to come back down to the bottom left corner of our 7 by 6 area. Count 2 spaces to the right. 1, 2. 2 spaces forward. 1, 2. And place 2 temporary blocks directly on top of each other. A block on top of it. A block coming out to the front from that, and then remove the 2 temporary blocks underneath. Next, we're going to come to the last block we placed and place a temporary block to the right of it. So this block right here, temporary block. A temporary block on top of that temporary block. 2 blocks to the right. 1 block coming out to the front. 2 blocks to the left. 1 more block on top of our temporary blocks. So right here. And then finally remove the 2 temporary blocks underneath. Just like that. Next, we are going to come back down to the left side of the build and place a repeater pointing into the block with the redstone dust. So right here. A dust behind that, and a redstone torch on this block right here, connecting to our redstone dust. We then are going to place a redstone dust on the block that the torch is on. So this block right here. A comparator next to that facing to the right. So right here, facing to the right. This is like an arrow, so it's pointing to the right. 2 dust in front like this. And another comparator pointing back into the elevated block on the left, making a pulse extender. Just like that. Next, we're going to come to the block with the redstone torch on its side. And place a block on top of the redstone dust. Right here. 2 blocks to the right. 1 block forward. 2 blocks to the left. And place a wooden button on any of the blocks above a redstone dust. Next, we're going to come to the right of our door blocks and place 3 blocks up from the floor. 1, 2, 3. 2 blocks to the left. 1, 2. And 2 coming back down, surrounding our door and blocks. Now we're going to swing around to the back side of the build. And directly in line with our top piston arm, we are going to place our last piece of obsidian. We then are going to come to the top right corner of our 7x6 area and count 2 spaces to the right. This is the bottom left corner. This is the top right corner. So we're going to count 1, 2, 1 space forward, 1, and place 2 temporary blocks directly on top of each other. A block on top of that, and remove the temporary blocks. Next, from the last block we placed, place a temporary block in front of it, a temporary block behind it, 2 blocks behind that temporary block, a block on top of both temporary blocks, so right there, and then remove the 2 temporary blocks. Just like that. Now we're going to come to the block furthest from our pistons on the line of blocks we just placed, so right here, and place 2 redstone dusts like this. 1, 2. Skip a block, place a repeater pointing that way, and finally place a redstone dust in front of the repeater to connect to our pulse extender. Next, we're going to come back to the back of the build and place a block on top of the elevated piece of redstone. Right there. 2 blocks to the right. 1 block forward. 2 blocks to the left. and a wooden button on top of the block above the redstone dust. Finally, all we have to do is place the rest of our wall in. So on the back left side, place 3 blocks coming up from the floor. 1, 2, 3. 2 to the right from that, and 2 coming back down, surrounding our door blocks. And bam! Your 1x2 flush using slime blocks with the lower piston or lower double piston extender is now done. It's a pretty nice little piston door and works really well. Moving on, we also have the 1x2 flush with our double piston extender above this time. And for this build, you will need 54 solid blocks of any type like smooth stone or cobblestone, 20 immovable or non-stick blocks like obsidian and glazed terracotta, 2 door blocks of any type, although if you want your door to be hidden, it should be the same as your wall, 12 redstone dusts, 5 redstone torches, 4 sticky pistons, 3 redstone repeaters, 2 slime blocks, 2 redstone comparators, 2 observers, 2 wooden buttons, 1 block of redstone, and 1 redstone lamp. So as you can see, the build takes up a 7 by 5 by 9 area, and the floor sits 2 blocks off the ground in line with the 3rd block or the diamond block here. So first we're going to come to the bottom right corner of our 7 by 5 area, so right here. Count 2 spaces to the left, 1, 2. Place a block, a temporary block behind it, a block on top of it, a block behind that, and remove the temporary block. We then are going to come to the last block we placed, so right here. Count 1 space forward, 1. Place a temporary block, a block on top of it, another temporary block coming out to the back from that, a block on top of that, a redstone torch on the right side of that block, and remove both temporary blocks. Just like that. Next, we're going to come back to the front of the build and place a redstone dust on the block furthest from the redstone torch. Skip a block forward, so right here. Place a repeater pointing into the next block, and place a piece of redstone on top of that block. Just like that. We then are going to come back to the piece of redstone at the front of the build, so right here, and place 2 blocks to the left, 1 block forward, a block to the right of that block, a temporary block behind the previous block, so right here, a block on top of that, and remove the temporary block. Just like that. Next, we're going to come to the last block we placed once again, so right here, and place a block behind it on the ground, a temporary block behind that, a block on top of the temporary block, 2 more blocks coming out to the back from that, 1, 2, and then remove the temporary block. Just like that. Now from the back side of the build, so swing around to the back, we are going to place 3 redstone dusts on the blocks we just placed, so right here, a repeater on the block dropped down, skip a block forward, and place 2 redstone dusts in a straight line to the front of the build. Next, from the front of the build, we are going to come to the left side and place a comparator connecting to our redstone dust pointing directly into the elevated block on the right. So right over here, comparator pointing into that block, connecting to our redstone dust. We then are going to swing around to the right side, so come on over here, and place another comparator beside the other one facing in the opposite direction to finish our pulse extender. Make sure the comparators are facing the correct directions. Next, we're going to come over to our redstone torch on the right side of the build and place a block on top of it, a block behind it, so right here, a piece of redstone on top of that block, a torch on the front of the block above our redstone torch, so right there, a block on top of that torch, another torch on the back of that block, a block on top of that torch, a torch on top of that block, a block on top of that redstone torch, and our last redstone torch on top of that block, and finally a block on top of that redstone torch. Whew! Now it's time for the double piston extender. So from the last block we placed, so right here, place an observer on the left side facing upwards, just like that. A block underneath the observer, a redstone lamp to the left of the observer, another observer looking at the lamp on the left side, so like this. Make sure your observers are pointing the correct directions. A sticky piston beside that observer, just like that. A block on top of the sticky piston, a redstone block on the piston's face, and finally 2 sticky pistons underneath the redstone lamp facing down, just like this. Next, we're going to take our slime blocks and place 2 of them coming down from the piston's face on our double piston extender, and add your 2 door blocks on the front. So 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. Next, from the right side of our slime blocks, we are going to place 4 obsidian coming down until it contacts the block with the first redstone torch on it. So from right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, no, 4. 4 more obsidian in front of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do the same on the left side. Bam, just like that. Now we're going to come back down to the bottom left side of the block with the first redstone torch on it, and place 1 obsidian to the left of it, and 1 obsidian coming out to the front from that. Next, we're going to come to the front of our door and place 1 obsidian in line with the bottom piston of our double piston extender. So right here, obsidian. Swing around the back and place your last piece of obsidian in front of the top slime block. Next, on the back side, we are going to place 2 solid blocks coming out towards us from the bottom line of obsidian. So from right here, 1, 2. 3 blocks coming up from the bottom piece of obsidian on the left. 1, 2, 3, just like that. 3 blocks coming up from the bottom piece of obsidian on the right. And then surround those just like this. And finally place a wooden button on the block above our redstone dust. just like that. Next, we are going to swing back around to the front of the build and place our last sticky piston inside the door on the third block back facing us. So 1, 2, 3, right there, and bam, you'll see it becomes powered. And when we finish the double piston extender, it may look like it's broken, but all you have to do is click the button once and it will fix the door. So next we have to finish our double piston extender. So coming back to the top of our torch tower, we are going to place a redstone dust on the block above the top torch, a repeater pointing to the left on the observer's face, a redstone dust on top of our redstone lamp, and a redstone dust on top of the next observer, with one more redstone dust connecting from our redstone block on top of this piece of obsidian, powering our other piston. And bam! The double piston extender is now done. Now, like I said, it may look broken, but click the button on the back and it will fix itself. You should see the door pop out one more block towards us. So right now you can see it's not sticking out. We click the button, it looks all broken, whatever. We click the button, and bam, it's all fixed now. Beautiful. Next, at the front of the build, we are going to come down to the front right side piece of redstone and place a block on top of it. So right here. 2 blocks to the left, 1 block forward, 2 blocks to the right, 1 block underneath of our door blocks, and a wooden button on top of any of the blocks above a piece of redstone dust. And finally, we are going to come to the right side of our door blocks and place 3 blocks coming up from the floor. 1, 2, 3. 2 blocks come to the left. 2 blocks coming back down. And 3 more blocks on top of those. 1, 2, 3. Surrounding our door in blocks. And bam! There's your 1x2 flush using slime blocks with a double piston extender above, all finished. As you can see, it's working there. Very nice, very nice. I just want to mention real quick too, moving the input lines is pretty simple for these doors. All we have to do, so for this one, just take this line right here and extend it out to wherever you want, really. I mean, you could even actually extend it out as well from like right here or anywhere you want, really, with a piece of redstone dust that's before this redstone torch. It has to be before that, so if it's coming into here, it's not going to work. But any of the depowered redstone, you can extend your line out from pretty easily. So this one, they already have pulse extenders, so I don't really need to show y'all how to add pulse extenders. You can expand them though if you want, I guess. I can just show that real quick if you want to keep the door open a little tiny bit longer. Just go like this, like that. Pop that in there, and now the door will stay. Whoops, hold on. I forgot we got that button right there. Let me move that. Oops. And you can see the door will stay open much longer now. That was a derp move. But anyway, so another thing I just want to say or show y'all with this one, same thing. Moving the input line. Any of the pieces of redstone dust, as long as it's before the torch. Yeah, there's also one more thing I want to mention. With this door specifically, I actually found this out afterwards, so what we're going to do real quick, I'm just going to fill these blocks in, double it up, because I have a little hidden entrance to show y'all that I found out with this door. I did not know that the slime block doors could do this when I made this, but check this out. So this is a 3-way door basically. We can walk through this way, to that way, that side obviously, the front to the back, But if we go in it again, what the heck did I do? Why is it not open? Oh, derp, I see why. Hold on. Let me fix that. There we go. So now, this time, if we go inside of here, and we stand right in the middle, boink, it can launch you up. So you could have a hidden little entrance to a base right up here. Let me just place in some blocks so it actually catches me. But we'll do it again. Stand right in the middle of the solid block and the slime block. Oh, no, it didn't work that time. Hold on. Stand right here. Hold on. There we go. Anyway, I'm sure y'all get the idea. It's pretty cool. You could use that as a three-way door, basically. So that one's pretty nice, actually. But anyways, though, that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you all had fun learning how to make two different 1x2 flush piston doors using slime blocks and double piston extenders. And I hope it was easy enough to follow along and understand. Please like, comment, and give me any suggestions you may have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. DJ Crowns out.